Hey everyone, and I welcome you to Intellectual Mastery, the YouTube channel where we use our brains to intellectually learn and talk about the world in which we live. Hello everyone, and just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Will, and I'm going to be the person leading this video today. And I just want to say that it's really great seeing you all here, and I hope you enjoy this video. In this video, we are going to start the first topic of our series, How to Think About. This topic is called politics. And if you don't know what How to Think About is, then I encourage you to watch my previous video about the series. I'll leave the link in the description down below. Now with that said, let's get into the essential parts of this topic to understand it properly. To get into the topic, we should first ask a crucial question, which is, why talk about politics at all? What is it, and why is it important? To answer this question, we will use an acronym I have developed called DEV, which stands for Define, Evaluate, and Validate. The definition of politics is, quote, the debate or conflict among individuals or parties having or hoping to achieve power, end quote. When evaluating politics, it is important to note that politics is very complicated, but also very important to understand. As many of you already know, politics contains many different methods and tools to coordinate people into one or more political positions. These methods include a form of persuasion, whether negotiation, lawmaking, and/or external/external force. When it comes to the validity of politics, the significance of studying it is summed up best in this quote, which is, quote, politics is too serious a matter to be left to the politicians, end quote. Charles de Gaulle. Now that we've gone through some of the basic information about what politics is, we can start getting into the meat and bones of what the content will include regarding politics. To answer that question, we will have to use the 5 W's, otherwise known as who, what, when, where, and why. First off, we have who. Who is politics about? First off, politicians are not the only people involved in politics, nor should they be. As the quote we discussed from Charles de Gaulle points out, politics is for everyone to be involved in and learn about, regardless of their profession, position, or whatever. You don't need to be an expert in politics to learn about it. All you need to do is understand the basics and know how to understand them properly. Throughout this topic, we will look at many political figures, past and present. Next up, what? What does politics cover? Politics covers many subtopics, which this series will try to cover to the best of our ability. Although keep in mind that many will probably be skipped depending on the content available or some other reason. However, as you'll know, politics involves many contentious and emotional topics for many of us. Examples include issues like abortion, immigration, sexual orientation, economic systems, role of government, etc. So in covering these subtopics, I ask that we please do our best to remain open-minded. Next up, when. When does politics come into play? Politics doesn't always relate to every topic that exists, at least to a big enough degree that makes them a video-worthy topic. One example would be math, but other than that, politics is pretty much everywhere. Many of the least political subjects still involve a political aspect, so our content regarding politics will include these topics that have any political aspects as we critically look at those sides of the arguments or those sides of the topics critically and open-mindedly. Next up, where. Where does politics come from? Politics comes from the dawn of civilization, and even before that. That is because politics impacts not just big civilizations, but also small groups of people. Politics also comes from places across the world, so countries like the US, the UK, and Canada, and Russia, China, and Iran all have political sides to them and political landscapes. So we will cover those political landscapes from across the world today and yesterday. Lastly, why? Why is politics so complex? Politics is involved in many topics, which makes it very intricate to study. And this leads to a heavy amount of burnout if you try to understand it all, which I have tried, believe me. We won't try to understand everything because we can't, but that doesn't mean we won't get into deep conversations. All I can promise is that we will do our best to understand what we can and do our best to remain open-minded about everything that we come across. Now that we've gotten this far into the video, we can start getting into the main reason why this video exists, which is, how do we think about politics? Now, I won't lie. Politics is a heavy subject to talk about, as most of you already know. It can be full of emotion, facts, numbers, and figures, along with having a vast amount of topics relating to it. So, how can we go about answering this question properly? Well, there are a few character traits that may help us with that. Let's get into them. First, we have curiosity. Curiosity means to always go out into the world in order to grow through knowledge, experience, and much more. So in practice, it means that we should be eager to go out and learn about politics, regardless of our current knowledge. As we have stated, there is a vast variety of topics that politics covers, which offers endless amounts of knowledge. So why not be curious and go searching for that knowledge? As I like to say, saying your knowledge is enough only tells someone how much ignorance is enough for you to be satisfied. Second, we have intellectual honesty. Intellectual honesty means to always search for the truth with a humble and open mind, even at the expense of your current worldview. So in politics, it means that we should all be ready to learn about politics with a humble and open mind. This includes topics that you and I encounter, such as abortion, LGBTQ+, immigration, and etc. So being able to look at any of the subjects critically and rationally is a sign of intellectual honesty. Third, we have discernment. Discernment means to always compare and contrast information so that you are not deceived by lies or any form of manipulation. So in politics, it means that you should always be careful when you look at the different sources and perspectives. Sources like CNN and Fox News often spout disinformation, which is designed to manipulate you into believing a false narrative. So being disciplined with discernment is key in preventing misinformation from slipping into your studying. So, what now? Well, now that we've introduced this series, we can start getting into the content that politics will include, and the various different topics that it covers. So stay tuned, because I believe that this series will take us in very interesting directions. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you would like to see more, then please stay tuned as our series continues and as we continue other series as time goes on. I hope you all have a really great day, and remember, the measure of intelligence is the ability to change. Albert Einstein.